Hello class 8, we are doing chapter number 2 of history, which is from trade to territory. In this chapter we already discussed many terms, so today we will discuss the company's army. This is the last point of this chapter. The company army, it means company ki fauj. Colonial rule in India. Colonial rule means when the East India Company control over India, it's called colonial rule. Colonial rule in India brought in some new ideas of the administration and reform, but its power rested on its military strength. It said that British control over India, but the actual power of Britishers was in the hand of military. Their actual strength was military. The Mughal army was mainly composed of cavalry, means सवार. सवार means those who are घोड़े पे जो चलने वाले, those who are trained soldiers on horseback. घोड़े पर चलने वाले जो आगे वाले घुड़सवार होते हैं, it's called cavalry, means सवार. Trained soldiers on horseback, and infantry means आगे चलने वाली, पैदल चलने वाली सेना. That is पैदल foot. That is पैदल foot soldiers. They were given in Mughal army. There were two types of soldiers. One is cavalry, those who are soldiers, those who are trained soldiers on horseback. घोड़े पर चलने वाले घुड़सवारों को बोलते हैं cavalry. And the second one is infantry, means पैदल सैनिक. They were not permanent soldiers. Whenever the ruler was gone for attack, or the Britishers attack him, then the zamindar of particular state or particular region will send farmers or will send villagers for fight. These peoples were known as infantry soldiers. They were given training in archery, means तीरंदाजी, and the use of sword. तलवार चलाने की उन्हें ट्रेनिंग दी जाती थी. The cavalry dominated the army, and the Mughal state did not feel the need to have a large professionally trained infantry. जो घोड़े पे चलने वाले जो घुड़सवार थे, they were well trained and they were know how to do archery, means तीरंदाजी, and how to use swords. तलवार चलाना उन्हें अच्छे से आता था, so they were well trained. That is why the Mughal empire or the Mughal state didn't feel the need of infantry soldiers. They don't want to increase the infantry soldiers. The rural areas had a large number of armed peasants, and the local zamindar often supplied the Mughals with pedal soldiers. The zamindar of a particular region, they will provide infantry soldiers, infantry to rulers. A change occurred in the 18th century when Mughal successor state like Awadh and Banaras started recruiting peasants into their armies and training them as professional soldiers. Now a big change is there. The Mughal successor, जो मुगल में आने वाले जो राजा थे, they want to train soldiers, and they started a new scheme in Awadh and Banaras. They started a new scheme. They recruit peasants. अब वो भर्ती करने लगे थे peasants, किसानों की, into their army and training them, and वो उनको training देने लगे थे as a professional soldiers. The East India Company adopted the same method when it began recruitment for its own army. The British East India Company followed the same pattern or followed the same policy as Mughals. They follow the same policy to recruit more and more army, which came to be known as the Sepoy army. Sepoy means Sipahi. Sepoy term is derived from a Hindi word which is Sipahi. When we call soldiers in Hindi, we say it's Sipahi. So the Britishers also say it's Sipahi, but because of their accent, it's called Sepoy. Known as the Sepoy army from the Indian word Sipahi, meaning soldier. As warfare technology changed from the 1820s, the cavalry recruitment of the company's army declined. This is because the British Empire was fighting in the Burma, Afghanistan and Egypt, where soldiers were armed with musket and matchlocks. Now what is musket and matchlock? Musket means a heavy gun used by the infantry soldiers. Musket is a heavy gun. which was used by the infantry soldiers. आगे चलने वाले पैदल सिपाही, they were used musket. And the second one is matchlock. It means an early type of gun in which the powder was ignited by a match, जिसमें पाउडर भरा जाता था, बारूद भरा जाता था, एंड देन उस गन को चलाया जाता था. So there are two types of gun. The first one is musket and the second one is matchlock. The soldiers of the company army had to keep pace with changing military requirements, and its infantry regiment now become more important. Now class, in this paragraph in 1820s, one thing is there, that in that period of time the recruitment system was changed. Earlier, the person who was cavalry, they were more important as infantry, but nowadays the infantry were more important as cavalry, because in that period of time the Britishers fought against Burma, Afghanistan and Egypt, and the soldiers who were using musket and matchlocks, they were infantry soldiers. So that the value of horse riders, the value of cavalry soldiers were declined, and the value of infantry soldiers was increased. In the early 19th century, the British began to develop a uniform military culture. It means that in early 19th century, the Britishers started a new system which is uniform military culture. It means all soldiers were equal in front of the Britishers. They will give them equal training. No one is special, no one is cavalry, no one is infantry. Everyone was equal for them. Soldiers were increasingly subjected to European style training. They were giving them European style training and drill and discipline that regulate their life far more than before. Now their life was more disciplined. Often this created problems since caste and community's feelings were ignored in building a force of professional soldiers. Now in that period, in that time of period, the Hindu system, the Muslim, our society was divided into different caste systems. So if the Britishers will stand all the religious person in one line, then the problem was started. So that in 1857, this was the main reason that the Indians will fought against the Britishers in 1857, because the untouchability was there, and Britishers want all soldiers were equal, so that people will not agree with the decision of Britishers. Often this created problems since caste and community feelings were ignored in building a force of professional soldiers. If the Britishers wanted to start or build a force of professional soldiers, then they will handle all the soldiers equally. But the problem is, in our India, all peoples were not equal. They were fighting with each other as a name of religion, as a name of caste. So the problem was emerged. Could they see themselves only as soldiers and not as member of communities? They will see them as not only as soldiers, but they were fighting as the name of their community, caste and religion. Here you can see a picture. A Sawar of Bengal in the service of the company, painted by an unknown Indian artist. This painting was drawn by a unknown Indian artist. In this picture, a Sawar was there. He's in a cavalry force. Now next paragraph is, what did the Sepoy feel? Now what were the feeling of Sepoy? Sepoy means Sipahi. The Sepoy word is derived from a Hindi word Sipahi. How did they react to the changes in their lives and their identity? That is, their sense of who they were. The revolt of 1857 gives us a glimpse into the world of the Sepoy. You will read about the revolt of 1857 in your chapter number 5. In that chapter we will discuss this point, that the people, the soldiers who are working in British army, they were fought against each other in the name of religion. Now here is your conclusion of your chapter. Whatever we discuss in this chapter, it is all about this. Thus, the Indian East India Company was transformed from a trading company to a territorial colonial company. They came here for trade, for business, but now they controlled over India. The arrival of new steam technology is in the early 19th century also aided this process. Till then, it would take anywhere between 6 and 8 months to travel to India by sea. Steam ships reduced the journey time to 3 weeks, enabling more Britishers and their families to come to a far-off country like India. It means that when in the 17th century, when the Britishers came to India, it took a lot of time. But after the invention of steam ships or steam engine, it took very less time. So that the Britishers came India with their families. They lived here for many years, and some of them were lived here permanently. By 1857, the company came to exercise direct rule over about 63% of the territory. Now, in 1857, company control 63% of India and 78% of the population of Indian subcontinent, combined with its indirect influence on the remaining territory and population of the country. It's not only that only 63% area or only 63% of the territory was under control of the Britishers or the company. Rest of the part were also influenced by the Britishers. The East India Company had virtually the whole of India under its control. Only 63%, not only 63%, but all India were affected or influenced by the control of Britishers. So this is all about your chapter number 2 of history, which is trade to territory. In this chapter we discussed many things, and this is your homework that you will read the story slave trade. Slave means gulam. Slave trade in South Africa. This is a small story. It means that in that period of time, the South Africa is doing the market of slaves. They are doing slave trades. Now this is your question answer. You try to solve these question answers and read it again and again. Thank you so much, class.